Hello guys, welcome back to another Lumpy trading video. In this one we're going to be doing stock analysis on Riteaid, ticker RAD. We did throw this into the Sunday watch list yesterday if you wanted to check out the kind of place we were looking at on that, but we'll go into more analysis on it and where we can see it going. So firstly, when we're on the daily chart, you can see there is a few gaps to actually be filled. The main one being this 1840 to around 18 or 1950. That would provide a good long opportunity, and that gives us a roughly 6% move just within that. So that most likely will provide a good trading opportunity. However, it will be a bit harder to trade, as you'll have to trade it as a day trade only most likely, because once we do come into this 1845 area, we will most likely do that whole move in one day instead of over several days, which you kind of get if the gap's a lot larger. So that's one of the key areas we would be looking to trade. We also had another gap here at around 23.16 down to 22.25. However, you can see most of it was actually filled on this move here. If we actually move it down a tiny bit. So most of this did get filled. However, you can see there's about a 10-cent move that did not. So you're probably not going to trade for those 10 cents, but it does indicate that this gap will most likely get filled. So we could see Riteaid continuing up to try and fill those 10 cents, because the market doesn't really like to leave those gap filled areas. So those are the kind of key gap areas. Now, if we look onto standard deviations, where do we see this happening? So obviously, we could see selling pressure starting around the end of this gap move at around 1941, because that would be the first deviation on the 4 hour. However, if we do break through, then we go and fill the small amount left on this gap of around those 10 cents. And again, that would be into the second deviation on the 4 hour, which again would most likely bring selling pressure on and a pullback. So those would be considered both short areas at high probabilities to work. Now, in case it does continue down for some reason, we do have a low risk entry from 12.95. The 15.56 I wouldn't trade right now, because on the daily we haven't yet come into the statistical mean. So that does mean if it comes back to this 15.56, it's not as likely to bounce. So kind of keep away from that level, at least for now. And again, if we did push down for some reason even lower, that kind of 11.10 would be the next low risk buy entries. Don't, however, though, really see Riteaid coming back to this. I do think for the foreseeable future, for like the next at least month or two, we will most likely continue upwards with Riteaid. So we'll carry on giving a few more price targets to the upside, just so you have some for if Riteaid does continue up. So these would be our key price targets over the 24, the 25, the 29. The 29 would be, if it does come up to that, would be an area I'd be heavily shorting for two main reasons. Obviously, on the 4 hour, that's the fourth deviation. When a large cap stock, such as Riteaid, comes into the fourth deviation, if it does even reach that kind of area, more likely than not, it will just sell off, because that's very overbought on a large cap stock. And it also matches up with the second deviation on the daily, which would give it added pressure to sell off. So those are kind of our key levels with Riteaid and what I see happening. So hope you enjoyed the breakdown on Riteaid. If that does help you, definitely drop a like. If you have any other stocks you want me to analyze, just leave them in the comments. Hope to see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.